Good morning. How are you today? Well, it's not bad out, but it's not spring anymore. Everybody has commented on Cuomo, and I feel uncomfortable doing it. And I'll tell you the reason. My natural feeling about accusations are that I like to hear what the other side has to say, or to know that some third party who doesn't have a political interest has gone over the facts, thought about it a little bit. The rush to judgment is not always wrong, and when we see these things publicly, as we did with Trump, it's easier to draw conclusions. You know, his speech, people charging the Capitol, to choose one example, tape recordings and stuff like that. But in any kind of alleged sexual dalliance that was either with a person too young or not consented to, suffers because there's no third party present. There's usually not corroboration. And it also matters to me that Cuomo is such a significant political target because he did so much good for himself at the beginning of the pandemic that he made himself, presidential timber, really. And I don't think he would run in 4 years, but maybe Joe won't, and maybe Kamala will have had enough of it. I don't know. But in New York alone, and talk about a rat's nest, everybody's lined up waiting for any political opening. So it's not enough for me that even members of Congress that I think highly of say throw him to the wolves. Now, by the same token, I don't think he should get away with it if he really did it. But I feel more comfortable after the investigation. I was encouraged, therefore, when Biden said about the same thing. He said, basically, let's wait and see what the investigation shows. And I think that's a good thing for us to do. We have had some people who have, some think they've suffered in the Me Too movement. And it is a necessary correction to everybody lackadaisically not caring about the complaints a woman legitimately makes about how she's been mistreated or taken advantage of in a society that doesn't take seriously a woman's right to be let alone in more than one way. So, but when there are so many that come out all of a sudden, and there has been a pattern of this with political figures, perhaps because they're political figures, I think it's good to have an investigation in which privately the individuals who may or may not be involved in misconduct, in this case by a prominent governor, can be asked questions privately and more carefully that get at the truth. Now, for me, the thing that concerns me more is it's very hard to weigh these two because they're different categories. One is individual rights and liberties, and the other is fraud. And it's the question of whether Cuomo did knowingly misrepresent data about nursing homes during the pandemic. I don't know how you weigh the two offenses. They're both offenses. One, though, the one involving whether or not reports were concealed or tampered with, that can be confirmed because there are witnesses and sets of records that allow us to figure it out. Now, there's no question that this attack on Cuomo, justified or not, has compromised his ability to serve in office. But I think he has to make that decision whether to stay or go. And for the time being, he's obviously decided to stay. That can change. So I think we should bide our time and let the investigation proceed and then revisit this. It's interesting to me how they're going to conduct an impeachment hearing in the New York General Assembly without calling the women to testify. The value of the investigation, it seems to me, by the Attorney General, is that this can be done more delicately. And women who remain quiet about having been abused really are not candidates to be at some public forum to discuss it. So there are a lot of considerations here. So I'm not persuaded by the rush, as there is among the state legislature and congressional legislators and the 2 senators from New York. I'm not anxious to join that rush, but I do think Biden is right, and I do think Cuomo is right, and it may be his own selfish interest why he's chosen to be right, because he wants to keep it private. But we should know, I don't know if we'll know in short order, but at least we'll have a reasonable basis, because the Attorney General runs a tight ship in that state, and I think that that's favorable. So, didn't mean to get into too much dirty laundry today, but everybody's talking about it, and I think people should just be a little more patient, because it's not going to be going on now, and if it is truthful, as the individual complainants say, his day of reckoning is coming. So tomorrow maybe we'll have a happier topic, but it's nice talking to you. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.